Okay, it's been a crazy couple of weeks in the NBA. LeBron's broken Kareem's all-time scoring record. Kyrie's joined Luka in the Mavs, and obviously, Kevin Durant has joined the Phoenix Suns. Yes guys, hear me out. Kevin Durant can absolutely lead the Suns to their first NBA title, but this also has the potential to go horribly wrong. Alright, Phoenix haven't had it easy. They've been riddled by injuries and currently sit at the 5th seed in the West, and their two star players in Devin Booker and Chris Paul have only played 30 and 35 games each. The West is looking more and more competitive, with teams like the Suns, the Mavs and the Lakers all strengthening, let alone the Denver Nuggets, who are 4.5 games ahead of Memphis, with Jokic looking like the favourite to win a third straight MVP. And a potential finals matchup with any of the favourites in the East like the Celtics, the Bucks or the Sixers could also prove difficult. Make no mistake about it. This is a win now trade, so Phoenix and their new owners have to get this absolutely spot on in order to win a ring. Which is essentially why they've made this trade, right? Okay, before everyone comes at me, let me give Kevin Durant the praise he deserves. This season, KD has been averaging nearly 30 points, 6.5 rebounds and over 5 assists per game for the Nets. And yes, he comes with championship winning experience to a team that already reached the finals in 2021. I need to make it clear that Kevin Durant is indisputably one of the most talented players we've ever seen in the history of the sport. This is a 13 times All-Star who averaged 32 points a game on near 50-40-90 splits in his MVP season and finished a scoring champion in 2010, 2011, 2012 and 2014. Oh, and he won 2 titles in 2017 and 2018, along with picking up 2 finals MVPs in both seasons. And yes, KD is joining a Suns team that tends to be pretty good when healthy. Last season, they finished first in the West with the league best record of 64 wins and 18 losses. And for the 139 games Booker and CP3 have been on the floor together, the Suns have gone 105-34, a win percentage of nearly 76%. So on paper, this trade definitely makes the Suns the favourites to come out of the West, and perhaps to win the whole thing, right? But now I'll be making the case as to why this trade might not actually work. Okay, let's break this trade down. For Kevin Durant and TJ Warren, can't forget TJ Warren, the Suns are sending Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Jay Crowder, 4 first-round picks and a 2028 pick swap to the Nets. Kevin Durant is Kevin Durant, and TJ Warren is a solid option off the bench. But let's start off with what Phoenix have lost, which are 2 relatively young players who have contributed a lot both on and off the court for the organization. I mean, look what Phoenix's coach Monty Williams had to say about their departure. Yeah, these guys clearly meant a lot to the team and may well have left a void in the locker room. Cam Johnson came off the bench averaging 12.5 points, shooting 42.5% from 3 last year, and was continuing that form in the small number of games he's played this season due to injury. But Mikal Bridges, this is a guy who, including in the playoffs, had played 400 consecutive games in a row for Phoenix, obviously an NBA record, and has proven himself to be one of the best two-way players in the entire league. This is the guy who finished second in voting for Defensive Player of the Year last season, is a decent 3-point shooter at nearly 39% this year, and is an overall efficient scorer. He has the 7th highest true shooting percentage in franchise history at 61%. He is someone who pretty much embodies what it means to be a reliable basketball player, with his 8.7 turnover percentage the 8th highest in franchise history. And guys, as much as I've extolled Kevin Durant for his godlike talent, this is a 34-year-old KD that hasn't played over 60 games in a season since the 2018-19 season at the Warriors. These guys are literally a KD injury away from a total collapse. That is, not winning the championship. With or without KD on the floor, the Suns lack defense. Look at previous NBA champions. The Warriors have had Draymond Green, a 1-time NBA Defensive Player of the Year and an All-NBA caliber defender. The Bucks had Giannis and Drew Holiday, whose defensive accolades speak for themselves. The 2020 Lakers had AD, who finished second in Defensive Player of the Year to Giannis that season. And not only is Mikal Bridges one of the best defenders in the league, he's also pretty much the most reliable player in the league in terms of his fitness and availability. So you've given him up for a superstar, yes, but one who's been hampered by injuries for the last couple of seasons. Okay, and aside from the whole team's lack of a major defensive presence, who is to say that this big three will be any more successful than Brooklyn's underwhelming trio of KD, Kyrie and Harden? Sure, you can argue that we didn't see enough of all 3 of them together on the floor, as they only played 16 games together for the Nets, but who is to say injuries won't stop these guys too? Each one of them have had their fair share of injuries this season. And look, this is not a Chris Paul in his prime either. This is, sadly, a Chris Paul that is no longer consistently available and is on the decline. He is averaging the lowest points per game of his entire career at 13.8 points per game and is shooting at the second lowest field goal percentage of his career at 42.8%. And these first round picks the Suns have sent over to the Nets are from 2023, 2025, 2027 and 2029. I mean, these guys have sacrificed a vital piece of their defense as well as a large portion of their future for a championship this season or the next, and that's even if KD chooses to stay with them beyond this year. To call this trade a gamble is an understatement. And guys, this is a season full of contenders. In the West, you've got a Denver team that is finally healthy, with Jokic averaging a triple-double and Murray, Gordon and MPJ proving their worth as valuable pieces around him. You got a Memphis team led by Ja and the best shot blocker in the league in Jaren Jackson Jr. And then the Mavs, who now have arguably the most skilled duo in the league in Doncic and Kyrie. And if Kawhi and Paul George can stay fit for the Clippers during the playoffs, they could make a really deep run. And then you also got a Warriors team that could easily turn their form around come playoff time. And a Pelicans team who, with a fit Zion, could also cause some really big upsets. And that's without even mentioning the competition in the East. Tatum, Brown and the Celtics have consistently been on a tear. And Giannis has averaged over 37 points per game in the Bucks' 10-game win streak at the time of writing. And then the Sixers have a scoring phenomenon in Embiid, who's putting up outrageous numbers basically every single game. This is the most competitive the NBA has been in a long time. Okay guys, my point is, Kevin Durant, along with Devin Booker and Chris Paul and the Suns, could be absolutely lethal. Despite everything I've said, it wouldn't surprise me and shouldn't surprise anyone if they go ahead and win the whole thing. But it's not a game over scenario for the rest of the league like many NBA fans are putting it. And I don't think Suns fans should get too ahead of themselves either. This is a gamble that needs to pay off for the Suns in the short term. A gamble that also relies on the trio not only to mesh well together, but also to be readily available when it matters. And a gamble that has seen the Suns sacrifice valuable pieces of their team and valuable components of their future. Let's see if it pays off. If you guys enjoyed the video and want to see more NBA content like this on a weekly basis, please drop a like and subscribe to the channel. It goes a long way. Thanks. Have a good day.